1,000 certified firearms instructors, one of which is our own representative, Linda Wilson. Hats off to Linda. She's an NRA instructor, concealed carry instructor, good gal, does a lot of hard work for the NRA. She just had a wonderful program at DeWills, her company, in which about 70 people showed up. We had an excellent program. Cool. NRA wants the dangers of gun-free zones to be understood. We saw that in spades this afternoon. Gun-free zones are a magnet for murders, and they know that full well. So we have to get the gun-free zone people to change their attitude. Uphill battle. I doubt this will help today. Hillary and Obama are already, the blood's not even dry yet, and they're already screaming. But they must be overruled, overstrained, and restrained. Wayne LaPierre had it right. It's like Nancy Reagan. I look back on Nancy Reagan and she's talking about the drug epidemic, and she says, just say no. Simple, direct, functional. She was scoffed at. Much the same as Wayne LaPierre is. The only way you could stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Now the policemen that we had here, the security guard we had here today, there was one of them. He had no weapon. So what was he supposed to do? I doubt a harsh language would have ruled the day. Anyway, live and learn, I hope. Anyway, let me see here. The NRA has three main divisions. They're all tax exempt. There's NRA.org, and that's the NRA America, and that's the group that comes around and has various training programs. It offers the various membership programs that you can get involved with. And I encourage anyone who is not an NRA member to please go to NRA.org and sign up. You can print your membership card right then and there. You can use a credit card on there, or you can send them a check. But the bottom line is, join the NRA. There's 6 million of us and counting. There should be about 30 million of us, with all the gun owners that are out there. The bigger we are, the bigger stick we carry.
We're afraid that maybe the government would get a hold of that list of who we are.
That's
You're
kind
here
of the
tonight,
point.
and you're listening to me, you're on the list. Guaranteed. You buy a hunting license, fishing license,
Fishing license. Yeah.
you're on the list. You're on the list. Are you a Christian, and do you go to church?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right at the top of the list. Yes, you're right at the top of the list. Anyway, you watch that movie I suggested, Innocence Betrayed, and when you watch that, pay careful attention to how many of those democides started with Christians and Jews.
Strength
How
in
many of
numbers.
them? Every one of them.
I can speak to that just for a moment. As far as the list goes, I hope I'm on the list.
Me too.
I already know I am, but I hope I am, because that means I'm being counted.
There's strength in numbers. The
Right.
more politicians pay attention to the number of concealed carry permits and the number of members of organizations like the Second Amendment Foundation and the NRA.
All right.
That's why the John Hancock signature is as large as it is. He wanted everybody to know.
Stand
Yeah.
and be counted.
That Innocence Betrayed, by the way, I sent a copy of that to every member of the Washington and Oregon state legislature and the governors. I got a call back from an assistant for the Attorney General for governor on the 594 fiasco, and he said, "Who are you, and what are you sending all this stuff to the legislatures for?" He said, most of these aren't even in your territory. I said, "Did you watch it?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Did the governor watch it?" He goes, "Well, no, he doesn't watch that stuff." I said, "But you watched it." "Yes." I said, "Do you take issue with anything you saw in there?" He goes, "Well, no, it's documentary newsreel, basically." I said, "So what are you doing back on I-594? Yeah. I said, "What are you doing back on I-594? Anyway, had no answer. He said, "Well, nice talking to you, and you're on the list." I said, "Well, I'm on the list. I've been on the list for years." Anyway. NRA.org, that's training and membership and education. NRA ILA, that's the section of the NRA I chose to serve by being a volunteer. I'm also a volunteer recruiter. And so, but that's a section, that's the Institute for Legislative Action. We're the ones that go in and we look at bills and stuff, and we get before you folks and say, listen, this is why this is not a good idea, and we point that out, and then we get all over the elected officials, whether they're mine or not. Don't care. Which reminds me of the book I sent to Bill Clinton, the Clinton Chronicles. You ever heard of that? I bought a copy of it. I sent it to him with returns postage, and I asked him if he would please autograph it. Well, I still haven't gotten it back. I think the Secret Service is enjoying reading it, hopefully. On the list again, I guess. It's like they're flumming through the Rolodex and going, oh, this guy. Yeah. Anyway, NRAFoundation.org. Now, the NRA Foundation is the one that handles charitable contributions from the states. There's many people who are ardent Second Amendment supporters that choose to leave their estate to the NRA, and that's the group that takes in charge of charitable contributions. In closing, one of the things I'd like to say to you folks, and some of you I'm sure know the first one, but some of you may not know the second one. United States Bill of Rights, Article 2. And when you watch this movie, Innocents Betrayed, keep this in mind. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Okay? Also, while you're watching that movie, keep this one in mind. This is Washington State Constitution, Article 1, Section 24. And this is its entirety. It's not an excerpt. The right of the individual citizen to bear arms in defense of himself or the state shall not be impaired, but nothing in this section shall be construed as authorizing individuals or corporation to organize, maintain, or employ an armed body of men. Militias are not included in that, because I was a member of a militia, an organized militia, in Skamania County, fairly good sized militia when I lived out in White Salmon area. And the Southern Poverty Law Center raised hell bill, excuse the French, with the governor at the time, Mr. Gregoire. And the state's attorney general looked into us and sent provocateurs into our midst and said, well, gee, I think it would be a great idea if we went over and blew up the Bonneville Dam. At which point we got on the phone and called the sheriff of Skamania and said, why don't you stop by our meeting tonight for some donuts and coffee. Melissa baked donuts and he loved her donuts. So he stops by and I said, these two fools over here want us to blow up the Bonneville Dam. He goes, fine, you two guys come with me. He comes back a couple hours later, he says, a couple of feds. So the bottom line is, militias are not illegal in the state of Washington. In fact, they're not illegal anywhere because they're covered by the Militia Act. So anyway, I'll leave those with you. Please see that show, Innocents Betrayed. It's a real eye-opener. And it tells you what the NRA is fighting for you. Tells it all about why we're fighting for you and ourselves, by the way. Thanks so much for inviting me.